Well, good morning, everybody. This is John Craig, and it is great to be with you here on another Monday edition of Let Us Reason Together. And we've got some good stuff going on for you today. We've got some things that, of course, we always have our shower thoughts. We're going to have our Torah Portion. Looking forward to that today. And then, of course, we're going to drop the Life of Worship Ministries YouTube channel, and where we're going to have some uncensored news. You want to stay tuned for the entire program. And it's like, well, I don't know how I can do that. Well, just put it on your device and stick in your earbuds and continue to work and do things and do chores, whatever you're doing today, and just listen. But I'm going to tell you what, you may want to at least keep an eye on some of these memes that we have today, those shower thoughts that we're going to have some thought-provoking things. Yeah, it's always good. Maybe some laughs, because laughter is good medicine. Hey, I have wonderful co-hosts joining me today, Eddie and Tammy Johnson. If you want to jump on in.
Uh-oh.
And there we go.
There you go. Morning.
Shalom.
For those of
you guys, you're looking good and lively.
Well, thank you. We're trying to be.
I am thankful to be alive, brother. I'm going to tell you.
Amen. So you guys survived all that. Didn't you guys get a bunch of rain this last week down that way?
No,
We had
I wish we would. We're in a bad drought.
It didn't reach that far or something. I don't know. I saw something about rain and fog and stuff, but it didn't reach down to Florida. It was pretty much in Georgia, South Carolina area.
That'll fill up the rivers, but it isn't helping our crops.
Yeah, trouble.
All right.
I think we're in the beginning of the Great Tribulation. If anybody cares, that's what it says.
Well, I do know this. Florida in January is beautiful.
Well,
yeah, when you're in sub-zero weather everywhere else, it's absolutely magnificent.
That's right. It's all about perspective. It's all about
right.
because I went to training, I don't know, 2-3 times down there in Florida, way back in the day when I was, a newbie in insurance, and it was wonderful. It was like clear skies and 70 degrees and just wonderful compared to winter in the Texas Panhandle.
How far south did you go?
It was Tampa.
Yeah, that's 3 hours south of here. So.
So there's a difference, huh?
Yeah, big difference. That I-4 corridor that goes across the state there, it has better weather than it does up here.
You will always peel your jacket off when you reach I-4.
Isn't that something? Yeah. No, I get that because between here and Lubbock, it's 110 miles, and there's a spot that is about a third to half the way down between here and Lubbock, and it's like a line, and you can feel it. You can pass over. It's like, wow, it just got warmer. It'll come through the vents of your car. I know exactly what you're talking about. Or when you're coming back, it's like, whoo, it just got cooler. Yeah. And it's always in that same little area between it. It's actually two different, what do they call those divisions of what is it?
Climate zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or planting.
I don't know what we are. We're like, what, Sandy, what are we, a 6 or 7? And Lubbock is 1 digit away from us. I mean, it's just that far away, but it's not, 100 miles or so.
But it's probably also off of that plane that you're on. Is it?
No, it's all high plains out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, our elevation may be a little bit higher than Lubbock, but it's still all part of the Cap Rock system. But
you do notice the difference in those elevations.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there's a little town called Childress. It's on the way to Dallas from Amarillo, and it's off the Cap Rock. And so basically it's all downhill, but there's a certain place in time that it actually, you go down into the next level when you come off the Cap Rock. And yeah, it's a significant temperature difference, humidity difference, all of that. So, Because up here we're just basically high desert, with 18 to 20 inches of rain a year is our average. So, but it's great farming, ranching. Tell you.
Yeah.
So
Don't have to worry about trees.
yeah, trees are a precious commodity. So, hold on.
I don't think Sandy could handle it around here because there's too many trees. I remember her mentioning that when y'all were driving down around Houston, where all those trees are, when you went to go get Carrie, that she just couldn't handle all them trees.
Well, it's a difference. I mean, when you're used to seeing the horizon, 10 miles out, nothing blocking your view, you feel kind of claustrophobic because you're like, I can't see what's over the horizon. I don't know what type of storm is coming. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Well, hey, we ready for some shower thoughts for today?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got to
All
change
right,
the view.
Yep, we're gonna bring that in. And all right, so here we go. Shower thoughts for today. Things that make you go, or maybe just laugh a little bit. All right, so for our first shower thought of the day, this is I give the credit to Robert Malone and his Friday Funnies this time around, and it's you can get on his email list if you like, and get his Substacks because he does put a lot of good information out there, challenging the Fauci thoughts and all that sort of stuff. But nevertheless, here we have for good reason. He's considered the father of mRNA. He part of developing that technology and said, hey, it's not good for the human body. But nevertheless, by the way, here's a shower thought for you today. Did if those that give rabies shots to your dogs and your cats, particularly your dogs, you have to make sure that your vet is not giving your pet the mRNA rabies shot.
Oh boy.
Oh, really?
Learned about that this week. It is a thing, and you have to say, I don't want this brand, and I don't have to. You're gonna have to do your own research. I read it this last week, and I think I don't remember where I read it, if it's on Steve Quayle, if it was on the Gateway Pundit, or somewhere else. But yeah, there's a difference, and you don't want to give your dog the mRNA technology rabies shot, because we know what mRNA does. Every time, even in lab animals, all the way back when they first started developing this, it caused heart issues, the cardiovascular issues. It caused, organ failure. It caused reproduction issues. I mean, it's the same type of stuff that the mRNA CV shots have done to people. So anyway, just a thought, but that's Robert. And so he's out there. I don't know. Maybe it's like making amends for technology he developed. Said, let's attack what is good for and so we can only have that which is good for the human body, and not things that we discovered that are not.
That's right. But, amen.
I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. That's kind of my perspective. How about this? Communism be like, follow me for more recipes.
Yeah, an empty plate.
Yeah, really.
Empty plate. Yep. Communism be like, follow me for more recipes. How about this one? So we got a little bit of a theme, kind of know where the theme is going today with something about communism, socialism. Yep, following right here. Thank you, President Trump, for freeing us from That wasn't real socialism.
Really?
That's the colors of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
Socialism? Really?
Yeah.
Of course, look at the blue hair on the person saying that.
And the Venezuelan hat in the background.
Yeah.
I saw a video of this lady. It was a young lady in a hijab. I think, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Converted to Islam, and she was lecturing the Muslim men. She was lecturing them and telling them that they can't discriminate against the LGBTQ. They can't, or anybody that's these, weird leftists, that they need to embrace them in order to convert them to Islam. And I was like, yeah, you don't even know. You're understanding it's Islam. A woman doesn't tell a man what to do in that religion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or lecture them or anything. And so, it's one of those things. I doubt if she's going to be Muslim for very long with her liberal views.
Or she'll disappear.
Yeah.
Or she'll, yeah.
She'll get hijabbed.
Yeah, she'll find herself a good Muslim man and end up in Lebanon or somewhere.
Yeah.
So moving right along. All right, we got to lighten this up. We're supposed to be lighter. Okay. All right, here we go. Tom plants an apple tree and takes care of it for 5 years. This year, his apple tree produced 50 apples. And Pocahontas comes on here and says, it's not fair that Tom has 50 apples and you have none. I'm going to take his apples and give them to you.
Yeah.
Tom no longer has incentive to take care of his tree, and his tree dies. Now there are 50 less apples produced and consumed. This is why redistribution fails.
Amen.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
that's true. Okay, Chucky Schumer, President Trump here. 77 WABC. In 2020, Schumer slammed Trump for not ending Maduro regime. Huh. In 2026, Schumer slammed Trump for ending Maduro regime.
Oh, brother.
It's just anything that's
they're never
anything
happy.
Yeah, anything that's against Trump. Anything. Yeah. How about this? Libs trying to explain why removing a narco-terrorist dictator is a bad thing.
I don't get it.
It's libs trying to explain why removing a narco-terrorist dictator is a bad thing. Okay?
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Exactly. Notice the wild eyes. Like, I'm trying to get you to understand. Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. So moving right along. How about this one? So a guy watching TV, and it's The View, and it's Mom Donnie tunes into The View to receive his classified morning briefing.
That's funny.
Sad, but so true. God.
He and his skinny jeans right there. All right. So
mayor shouldn't have a classified morning briefing.
No.
Yeah, whatever that is. How about this one? Feel the warmth of collectivism. Mom Donnie in a pink shirt. Yeah.
Taxpayers.
He's got taxpayers on this, on the
spit.
What do you call that? On the spit. Yep. With the sickle and hammer. Sorry, sickle and hammer.
For the handle.
Feel the warmth. Yeah, I don't know if anybody heard any part of his speech at 12:01 on New Year's Eve.
No.
But he did, one of his parts of the speech that I heard was to embrace or feel the warmth of collectivism, as he was basically saying, because the old system where populism and all that is not a good system. I don't know. That's me just messing it up. But yeah, feel the warmth of collectivism. Yeah, we know what that is.
It's horrible.
I don't know. Yeah, you skipped that one.
Okay. All right. If you were watching, if you're listening, you just have to rewind it, because I'm not going back to that picture.
No.
Other than his beloved name is Tampon Tim, because the governor of Minnesota put tampons in the boys' bathrooms.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that's what that is. And and here's a Somali picture. It says leering season. Do you know what leering season is about?
No.
Okay. So one of the big things they've discovered, of course, is the daycare fraud.
Yeah.
The Somalis are running up there in Minnesota. So they have an address, and they put basically in an empty building. They say this is a daycare, and one of the signs that they found, which is an empty building and nobody's occupying, the sign on the outside is supposed to say learning center, but they dropped the N. It says Leering Center.
No kidding. Leering the children in.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Leering Center. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So anyway, Leering Center. They misspell the word, totally changes thing, but it actually emphasizes what a fiasco this whole thing. Well, what do you do? I mean, one of the things that Somalia is known for is what? They're pirates. They're slave trade. They're what they do, because they have no natural means of production of most anything there, because they're not productive that way for the most part in Somalia, in my opinion. I mean, maybe there are some productive people there. If they're not living off the government, they are robbing somewhere. But that's, I'm just saying, forgive me, but for having that point of view. But what happens when you import a bunch of people like that? Maybe this is for the other part of our news. Okay. But that's what they're doing. They're robbing us blind, but under the basically.
Okay, let's move on.
Because the governor is watching over it, making sure he gets his cut. Okay, just saying. Crypto is going to be huge this year. Wrong. AI stocks will be. No, but if you have a daycare, guess what? You're going to drive a Ferrari. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, check this out. Michael Naylor says extremely rare footage of Willie Nelson and Keith Richards building the pyramids. What?
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't know what to think. You're gonna have to shower thought that one.
I don't get it.
Is it because they've been around that long?
Yeah, really.
Extremely. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Angry Libs, reason number 3: having to replace their protest signs so often. I swear, I'm going broke replacing these signs, because we have the Hamas signs, then we had the Iran signs, then we had Maryland Dad signs, and then we have immigrants and other signs, and now it's Free Maduro sign.
Lord help us.
Okay. There you go.
You need to find some funny shower thoughts.
These are Friday funnies. Okay, let's try this one. From U.S. Homeland Security, Warlow Rubio is Trump's go-to secretary. Here's Marco finding out he's got to run Venezuela, Iran, Canada, Minnesota, Hilton, and Greenland. What am I missing? Okay, Tammy, is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay. All right. Rubio realizing he has to be the governor of Greenland.
Oh no.
Rubio realizing he's going to need to take over Minnesota law enforcement.
Yeah, really.
Marco Rubio, when he realizes he has to paint the new ballroom.
Poor Rubio.
Oh man. There you go.
Law enforcement.
Oh gosh.
The 51st state.
needs law. That's funny.
Tammy, come on. Rubio learning that he's now in charge of the Avengers.
Oh.
He literally has to save all of humanity from the alien invasion.
Oh Lord.
Poor Rubio.
Okay, I'm laughing really hard today. This is good medicine.
They're good. They're those are
There's more. Everybody realizing he's now the captain of an oil tanker.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. The ring must be taken. Okay. No, there's more. The ring must be taken deep into Mordor and cast back into the fiery chasm from whence it came.
Oh no.
What if you must do this?
Lord.
Rubio is with the.
That's too funny.
Taking the ring.
That's too funny.
The White House announces over 1 million new jobs were created in December, but they were all filled by Marco Rubio.
Poor guy.
Oh no.
Uncle Marco.
Oh no.
They put him in the Cracker Barrel sign. Poor old Marco.
One more thing. Are we done? We're done with Marco. Okay. But then we got Columbo. Just one more thing. If the January 6th defendants were the criminals, why did Biden pardon the investigative committee?
Really?
So true, Columbo. So true, brother. So true.
Robert Barnes was at the Capitol this last week with some formal and informal meetings, shall we say? And he said all over the Capitol they have plaques remembering the insurrection of January 6th. He said they're everywhere. See, it's crazy.
Yeah, really.
In other words, they have to put the propaganda in front of the congressmen and women and senators so that they always remember, or shall we say, we would say, remember the farce of January 6th. But
exactly.
But you wonder why they've come out and talked about how bad January 6th was, when in reality, it was a huge farce. Okay, just saying. All right, maybe we should get back to Marco.
The aftermath of the farce. Yes.
Well, yeah, and the facts, so many different things. Yeah, was there some violence? Yeah, but how much of it was instigated by the feds? That's where the farce comes in, the instigation of and the provocation when they were shooting people and putting those stun blasts in front of them and smoke bombs, and when they weren't doing anything. But that's what started the mess. But okay, moving right along. I love people who say choose happiness. Like, yeah, I totally passed on. I totally passed on it and ordered anxiety with a side of existential dread instead. What? Let's say that again. I love people who say choose happiness. Like, yeah, I totally passed on it and ordered anxiety with a side of existential dread instead. That's a thought. Okay, moving right along. Yeah. If there was an award for barking at absolutely nothing.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. My dog Sugar. She's a very quiet dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not a barker. What a blessing.
Shira actually cannot physically bark. She's tried, but it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time? Oh, we got a little bit of time more. Is Trump derangement syndrome covered under Obamacare?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, what is happening with that insurance thing anyway?
Oh my! You know what happened this last week? They voted to extend certain things another 3 years.
Oh, brother.
Yep. So we're paying for it as usual.
So yeah, no changes. They need to gut it and throw it out.
I know traitor Republicans that went with the Democrats and voted for it.
Get over in the picture.
Let's see what this is.
I was talking about the food pyramid.
They need another shot of Marco Rubio on the food pyramid.
That's a little bit long to go on. So since you can't hear it.
So tell him to have some steak with his butter.
Okay.
Get the president on the phone. Yeah. Okay. Could y'all hear any of that?
No.
Couldn't hear it at all.
He couldn't hear it all. I don't know why that setting was. Well, I enjoyed it. We got to do it for Robert Malone. Anyways, he said you can read it. There was background stuff going on. But yeah, he basically said, turn the pyramid upside down. It's when RFK Jr. told him to turn the food pyramid upside down. And they were in such shock and fear. And they did it. And it's like, oh, what a revelation. And everybody's cheering. Okay. And tell the president that he can have some steak with his butter.
Oh, no.
So here we have this one. You are here. The cow's looking at the top. And the chickens are here. Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, there we go. This doesn't look good. The cow said, this doesn't look good.
And like Chick-fil-A says, eat more chicken.
Yeah, the cow says, eat more chicken. All right. Well, there you go. How about them apples? As we started out earlier.
They're
Lord,
politically charged, that's for sure.
They are that.
Well, I if y'all couldn't understand me during the Marco Rubio assignments,
that was funny.
That was a good
That
one.
was the best ones.
Yeah, that was a good one, boss.
You asked for it, you got it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and Marco, by the way, is going to take the ring into Mordor.
I never really got into that series.
You didn't?
Yeah, it was written the year I was born, 54, 53. I was a year old when he wrote it.
Oh, you wrote the book, yeah. Well, I actually the series can be very long, and you got to get through series 1, 2 to get to 3, of course. And yeah, there's a lot of Hollywood imagery that goes on. That's but on the other side of you, just the story of the rings is really, really cool analogy when you throw it in terms of Messiah sacrificing everything to save humanity.
Wow.
So that's how I see it.
Okay.
Well, there you go. What happened there? How do we get that picture?
Let's go to
there
that.
We go.
I don't know. They really messed things up with this new update on this software.
Yeah, they always do.
It's yeah, we got to get used to it, don't we?
Yeah.
There was, by the way, there's some. Go ahead.
I said we didn't used to have to mess with that. It did it automatically. Now you got to do it manually.
Did you know that you can also generate an AI background as well?
Yeah.
I just saw that. I'm gonna have to play with that.
Pastor, will you be touching base on what happened in Basel, Switzerland on Friday? Any of that?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I did read about it
Okay.
over the weekend, and then I saw the video. Well, I didn't watch the video y'all sent. I didn't get a chance to do that yet, but I did read about that. Yeah, some major changes in the financial markets.
Huge, brother. Say huge.
Yeah.
Unbelievably huge. I don't know why Trump's worried about the secretary, Powell, because he's got more gators trying to chew him up and Carter's got liver pills. It's coming down the pike.
Well, Powell's been referred, but that was from Congress. Congress referred him for a criminal investigation. So, but Powell needs to leave. He just needs to leave.
Yeah.
In my opinion. All right.
China sold 60.
It's time for the Torah portion.
Yep.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
We got it.
Here we go. I know this is what everybody's been waiting for. Here we go.
Torah
We're trying to get everything set up again.
Now you messed me up.
Okay. Well, welcome to this morning's Torah portion. And Shabbat Shalom to those that are listening on Shabbat. And
what I didn't get to say in the previous section, China has sold $63 billion worth of our debt, just to let you know. Go ahead, baby.
Well, that has nothing to do with the Torah
Absolutely nothing to do with Vayera, and he appeared. Yeah, buddy.
We hope he will appear very soon.
If he don't appear, we're all broke.
That's right. And this week's Torah portion is Parsha Vayera. And I appeared.
Second Vayera.
That's right. The Torah portion is Exodus 6:2 through 9:35. The prophet section is Ezekiel 28:25 through 29:21. And the gospel section is Luke 11:14 through 22. You need to turn your phone to silent.
I can't.
Yeah.
Tammy broke all the buttons on my phone.
We need to get him a new phone.
So my phone I can't operate my phone.
Oh, yes, you can. Anyway, this is the second reading from the book of Exodus, and it is also the 14th reading from the Torah. Wow.
And somebody's going to have a birthday on the 14th, and I won't say who that person is.
And it is named Vayera, or Vayera, which means, and I appeared. The title comes from the first words of the second verse of the reading, which says, and I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as God Almighty. That's Exodus 6:3. The portion begins with 4 expressions of redemption, whereby God promises to bring Israel out of Egyptian bondage. The narrative progresses to tell the story of the first 7 of the 10 plagues that God unleashes on Egypt.
Trying to see where you are.
I just read the first paragraph.
Okay.
The first.
If you remember a few weeks ago, where was I a few weeks ago? Who am I? What am I doing here?
You were here.
Okay. I mentioned there are 2 different parshas with the name Vayera. The first one in Genesis, Bereshit 18:1, 22-24, transliterated as Vayera. I comment then that those who are not Hebrew scholars, it's interesting to note that the root word in both instances is the word ra'ah, or to see.
To be seen.
To be seen, or to be caused to be seen.
Or to be caused to be seen or be shown.
All right.
Okay. So let's see what Abba has shown us in this Vayera Torah portion.
Yeah, we'll get on. Y'all hang on now. You better hold on.
Let's start off again with the namesake verse. Would you read that again? Exodus 6:3.
Yeah, where's that?
The bold print.
Okay, there it is. Now I got it. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name God Almighty, El Shaddai, but my name, Yehovah, but by my name, Yehovah, I was not known unto them.
And did you know that this is the very first time in all of the Torah where Yehovah actually speaks his own name to anyone in Scripture? It's not the first time it shows up in the text, but it is the first time he is making it known. That was pretty cool, I thought.
Yep.
Now, we also have to mention the 7 I will statements. I know the introduction only talked about 4, but those 4 are picked out and they are brought out in the Passover Seder.
The Haggadah.
Yep.
For those who have followed and observed Passover, where this isn't nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
But this is extremely important because we're facing these I wills.
Yeah. We hope to see.
We're going to live them.
The manifestation of those.
We're going to live them.
Yes. So would you read Exodus 6 through 8, please?
Where to go? And therefore saying to the children of Israel, I am Yehovah, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, an and I will be to you a God, our God, and ye shall know that I am Jehovah your Elohim, which brings you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
Okay, keep going.
And I will bring you into the land concerning
which I
swore to give it to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am Jehovah.
That's right.
Oh, people, you just can't get better than that.
Did you notice 3 times he says, I am Jehovah? He says it at the beginning, after the 5th I will statement, and then again at the end. And could this relate to the miracle Yeshua performed of the 5 loaves and 2 fishes?
Yep, sure could.
I think it has something to do with it. I haven't been able to take the time to dig into that to see about it, but it just
I'm going to say this about all our Torah portions. Everybody's ever taught Torah portion. Buddy, when we sit around the master and he expounds upon the Torah, guys, our chins will be detached, our jaws will be dropped to the floor. What? We won't know what to say, but praise you, Abba Father. Hallelujah.
I think it'll be a little bit like what I experienced Saturday night when I was listening.
She's going to lay that on you here in a minute.
So as I was listening to the audio Bible from First Fruits of Zion's webpage, read the text of this week's Parsha, it was interrupted by what I believe is a short download from the Ruach HaKodesh.
This was good. I love what he reveals her on this.
Well, we'll get to it.
It just gets to me good.
It pertains to the mother of Moses, Aharon, and Miriam, Yocheved or Jochebed, however you want to pronounce it. So before I go into that, into what I was shown, I think a little background information is warranted. Besides, because when you get one of those downloads, you understand things so instantly, but to try to explain it, it takes some time. So besides the obvious, she's the mother of quite a trio of children who will play a huge role in the exodus of the children of Israel from Egypt through the wilderness and finally leading up to the promised land. What does the scripture have to say about her? She is first mentioned in Exodus 6:20.
And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife. I'm emphasizing that. And she bare him Aharon and Moshe.
Yep.
Is anybody at the house?
They didn't mention the girls that back then. And okay.
But Miriam was firstborn, baby.
Yes, she was.
She was firstborn. Let's don't forget that.
And it mentions also that the years of the life of Amram were 137 years, just like Yaakov. But I haven't really fully understood why some of the patriarchs are, the years of their lives are mentioned and others are not. But I'm assuming that they mentioned it here because of the fact that he died in Egypt. He did not come out of Egypt with the children of Israel. Also, Numbers 26:59. Scroll up.
Oh, man. And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Mitzrayim.
Now, if you go into Jewish tradition, there's this tradition that Jochebed was Dinah's daughter by Levi, and that she was pregnant with Jochebed on the way down to Egypt, so therefore she wasn't counted with the 70, but they didn't count women anyway, so that doesn't really make any sense to me. But anyway, I always wondered why this detail of Amram marrying his aunt was recorded in the Torah.
This is an
Especially
important question.
when Moses later instructs the children of Israel not to have this type of relationship within the family.
You don't take your aunt to be your wife. What do we read here?
Leviticus 18:12.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman.
Yeah.
And
also, the Torah explicitly shares genealogical bloodlines through the fathers, not the mothers.
Now, understand that this relationship between Amram and Jacob had happened long before these commandments hit town.
Absolutely. And
I want to make that point.
And Abraham and Sarah were brothers and sister by the father. So
right.
So
what she's going to share about this, don't disregard it in light of what I just said.
Right. So also the Torah explicitly shares genealogical bloodlines through the fathers, not the mothers, yet Jewish tradition states that the bloodlines go through the mothers. How and when and or why did that change? According to the Code of Jewish Law, matrilineal descendancy in biblical times became evident in the story of Ezra and the returning exiles. The book of Ezra tells the story of the Jews who returned from Babylon to finish rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem. Upon their arrival, they found that many of the Jews who inhabited the land had taken non-Jewish wives.
Ruh-roh.
Obviously, it was a given that these children were not Jewish. Furthermore, note that Shechaniah states, "And let the Torah be obeyed." Apparently, everyone understood that this was not a new edict, but a call for obedience to the Torah, as it had always been understood by the Jewish people.
Amen.
Moses commanded the people of Israel not to marry the inhabitants of the land. I believe that is what Shechaniah was referring to.
Absolutely.
So would you read Deuteronomy 7:3?
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give to his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
That's right. So, okay. Now that the background information has been established, what did the Ruach download to me after Shabbat? Why is it significant that Amram married his father's sister?
This is way beyond our normal understanding.
I think this is a sod level understanding of the Torah.
Because we don't operate in this
not normally,
these things
right
anymore.
By Amram marrying his father's sister, that elevated her sons to the same level as their father in the hierarchical position of the sons of Levi. In essence, the same way Jacob adopting Ephraim and Manasseh elevated them to full tribal status. So Moses and Aharon were not counted with their cousins as the heads of the three branches of the Levites.
The proof of the pudding is in the reading of the Torah.
That's right. That's why there is no contest when it came to who was the leader of the tribe of Levi. It was Aharon, because in genealogical terms, they were moved up a branch on the family tree to equal status with their father Amram. All their cousins were the fourth generation from Levi, whereas Aharon and Moses were now the third generation.
They outranked him.
Yep, that's right. So when Korah challenges the authority of Moses, not only did he have no spiritual standing to do so, but he had no legal position to challenge Aharon's leadership either.
And the Arabs that will take you to the place where that event happened, where they buried the sons of Korah.
No, Korah and his
rebellious
ones.
They will say to you, they hear them screaming from the pit, Moses was right, hear ye him. They hear it.
Wow. That's pretty. I thought that was really cool how Abba Just when you
it
download
fits
something.
the picture.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
and it answers the reason why Abba set that up in the first place,
Mhm.
so that nobody could have any, contest about Moses and Aaron's
but yet
leadership.
they still did. They
Oh,
still did.
yeah.
He had to have the bud and rod business to go through
Yep.
to tell them, okay, guys, I'm just going to shut you up. You know.
So the next topic that always seems to bother me about this Torah portion deals with the Egyptian magicians. And Pastor John made he kind of touched on this a little bit in last week's Torah portion on Shabbat. It was really good. Why did the Egyptian magicians duplicate the signs that Moses and Aaron did? Wouldn't it make more sense for them to reverse it or nullify it or undo what they were doing?
Hey, let's turn all this water into blood. Don't you want something to drink?
How did they find more water to turn into blood?
I'm
I don't
telling
understand that.
Let's have some more gnats around there.
Yeah, really.
Oh, Lord.
So it just never made sense to me why the magicians did this. But again, the Ruach HaKodesh answered that for me in this Torah portion. Number one, the adversary is only permitted to copy what Yehovah has done or is doing. He cannot reverse it or undo it. So therefore, they could only copy what Moses and Aharon did. They could not counter it.
Because had they been able to, it would have shown to Pharaoh that God wasn't God. But
Exactly.
God is always God and always
That's
will
right.
be God forever and a day.
That's right.
And so they will could never have even stopped it if they wanted to.
That's right. So, well, that got done a little bit faster than I thought we would.
Oh,
So
we're
let's
there.
go into last year's notes a little
Oh,
bit.
here we go. Now we're gonna.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the name El Shaddai, which is what the forefathers knew Yehovah as. El Shaddai is God Almighty. El is the Strong's Hebrew 410, and it's shortened from the Hebrew 352, which means strength. As adjective, means mighty, especially the Almighty, but used also of any deity. It is derived from the Strong's Hebrew 352, Aiel, which is ram, as food or as a sacrifice. Isn't that interesting? In an agrarian society, it would cause one to see our Heavenly Father as the head ram of his flock. So what role does the head ram actually perform in the flock? I found this interesting comment. The word for an intact male sheep is a ram, but the ram rarely leads the flock. The lead sheep are usually females, called ewes. A ram will many times act as a protector, but rarely as the leader. Shaddai is the Strong's 7706, which means almighty or most powerful. Shaddai is the almighty, speaking of God, and Shaddai from the Hebrew 7703 is the almighty. Strong 7703 is to deal violently with, despoil, devastate, ruin, destroy, or spoil. So you can see how this name fits his character in the events throughout the book of Genesis. The flood, the Tower of Babel, defeating the 5 kings, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. He defended and protected his chosen people, destroying the evil ones. The Egyptians worshiped bulls, but despised sheep and goats. Therefore, they looked down upon shepherds. Hence the reason Joseph and his brothers told his brothers to tell Pharaoh that they were keepers of cattle, not of sheep. But did they listen? No. He's just a little brother. He doesn't know anything. So it makes sense that Yehovah had to distinguish this aspect of his name by which the whole world would now come to know him. It just wouldn't do for Pharaoh to see him as a head ram. Wow. So let's take a look at the name Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. We all know that there are no vowel points in the Torah scroll. So how do we know how to pronounce the name of the Creator?
We listen to
Nehemiah Gordon.
Nehemiah Gordon.
Yeah. I came across this interesting video on YouTube by the Assembly Called Out Believers titled The Hidden Beauty of the Holy Name of God, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. It brought a whole new understanding of his name and even a different pronunciation as well. So we're not going to play that video, but this is just a few of the things this gentleman says about Yehovah that Yehovah showed him regarding the name. The name Yah and Yehovah comes from Ahava, which means love. Exodus 3:13 through 15. And Moses said to Elohim, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and say unto them, Elohai of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And Yehovah said to Moses, Ehayah, who is Asher Ehayah, or Eyah. Eyah is a description of who and what he is. Yehovah comes from Eyah or Ahava, the self-existent or eternal, and Ahayah comes from Haya, meaning to breathe. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Eyah, the Hebrew 1961, hath sent me unto you. And Elohim said moreover to Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Yehovah Elohai of your fathers, Elohai of Abraham, Elohai of Yitzhak, and Elohai of Yaakov hath sent me unto you.
Which brings you to the story of when that one Sadducee confronting Yeshua. Yeshua's talking, and because he knew Abraham.
Yeshua knew Abraham.
And he says, You're not quite yet 50 years old, and you've met Abraham.
You've seen him, yeah.
You've seen him? His reply blows me away. Pick me up off the ground.
That's right.
He said,
Before Abraham
was, I am. Oh my God. If that boy didn't hit the dirt, he should be done it now. He should be in the dirt. Because my God, look who he's talking to and what he replied.
That's right.
My Lord.
That codified right there the fact that Yeshua was Melchizedek.
End of story, people.
So, John, you want to come back in and
bells out?
Share what you might have seen in this Torah portion this week.
Okay, I'm here. I was sitting in there listening to you all.
You've got a bubble.
You're in a bubble.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a bubble.
John's in the bubble.
I know my secret. Now you know my secret. It's hooked to the back of my chair, and I have to get just right so you don't see. Turn it over, you'll lose it. See?
That is weird.
All right, we like to see you bubble.
That's not my living room behind me. That is.
I know.
That's stock. Yeah, that's not my piano over here. So.
Y'all have had a wholesale rework of your interior of your house.
Yeah. So so you were talking earlier about Moses and
And
Aaron
uh-huh.
and their genealogy
Yes.
and their descendants. And I thought that was very interesting that what placed them as the third generation, and then we have the three other cousins,
Uh-huh.
Korah, Merari, and three
Well,
other cousins. I forget their names.
the three sons of Levi are Gershon, Merari, and Kohath.
Kohath, yeah, Kohath, right. Where we get that whole mess from Korah's rebellion and all that fun stuff. It's like, well, who are you? And what authority do you have? And aren't we just the same? And no, they're not just the same.
No, they're
In
not.
fact, based on what we've discovered here in the genealogy is that no, they're the kid brothers, they're the kid cousins. They don't have that right yet because it goes by birth or generation order.
Right.
So isn't that interesting how that worked out? But
it is.
And yet, did you ever think about how and yet the birth brothers and stuff? I just lost my picture. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, okay. You've been cracking around, brother.
Yeah, your voice is a little crackly.
Yeah.
I moved my speaker, it hit my mouse, and I lost you guys.
We're here.
I'm right here, brother.
Okay, here we go. All right. So now I'm just gonna keep on going. We'll figure it out. But anyway, how Moses was Moses and Aaron, well, basically Aaron and his lineage ended up being the stewards of the protocols of the tabernacle, and then the other three, they dealt with the furnishings, the tent, the structure, and that type of thing. But I won't say that they're not as important, but that whole officiating over the altar thing is really, really big. The officiating over the menorah and the showbread and all that, very, very important. And it just wasn't given to them. And how the elder generation was given that responsibility. There was somebody that used to be on Lamb Network that was talking about, well, when you turn 50 and you're in ministry, you should retire and hand it over to the younger generation to continue. And I was like, wait a minute, there's something about being in ministry that there's all sorts of experiential wisdom that takes place, that at 50, that's a little young to be handing over the reins. Not that y'all wouldn't ordain something like that or do something like that, but at 50, that's a little young to hand it off to a 30-year-old to take over ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it would just seem to, and I never agreed with that philosophy. That's what the guy said. He was
probably basing that on the 50-year retirement of the Levites out of the temple service, supposedly. But Aaron was 123 years old when he passed on the high priesthood. So yes. I think that only applies to the regular Levites. It doesn't apply to the Cohen.
Right. So, and I think you're right about that. And I just, but there's also the elder position and of all of that, and of that experience training up and raising up the younger generation to take over. That's very important, but not instead of, you know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely.
And
move on to the portion already.
Yeah.
Half hour by so fast.
Yeah, it does. So I'm going to have to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do on my computer because I have a screen that popped up that will not disappear.
Oh, no. Thanks
to MSN, whatever, their site just popped up and I'm trying to control it. But we'll go ahead and make the pause. We'll make the jump and we'll see you guys on the other side. We'll figure out this technology.
God bless.
All right. Thanks for the Torah portion.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good stuff, Maynard. All right.
Are you able to get to the outro?
Good stuff,
yeah. Here we go. Transition.
Torah, HaTorah, Torah. HaTorah, HaTorah, Torah. HaTorah, HaTorah, Torah. HaTorah, HaTorah, Torah.
Okay, we're back, and thank you all for staying with us here, because we know you have a choice of what you listen to, and we are here. Let me get my screen all set back up. It's like, oh, it's moving in the background. What are those things in the corner? Okay, we know you have a choice what you listen to, and here we are, and you're with us this morning, and so thank you. And if you're picking up on the archives, we appreciate you joining us as well. So much has been going on. My head is really spinning, and I don't know about you if you're keeping up with the news. It's like things are just happening super, super fast. And I'm like, well, which one do I actually want to touch on? And where do I want to go? Well, oh my goodness. Yeah, because I'm still looking at headlines. I'm still looking at things. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. I want to start out and share the screen with you. And we're going to jump from one subject to the next. And I'm going to start here on the HalTurnerRadioShow.com, and where I pulled up the headlines. And this is news. By the way, you want to laugh first? Do we need to laugh before we get going? Because we did laugh earlier. But before we get too serious, let's look at a couple memes that he put up here. One here's a guy, and a guy's handing this gentleman a brain. He's handling a brain. He says, "No thanks. I believe in the rules-based order." Yeah. Okay. And then here's this guy here. He's an old guy. And he just says here, very words of wisdom. When you're dead, you don't know you're dead. The pain is felt by others. Okay. The same thing happens when you're stupid. All right, just going on. Okay, now let's look at some of these headlines, because we know what's happened in this last week over in Venezuela. And Maduro was captured. He was arrested. We talked about it last week on Let Us Reason Together. And we have a lot of controversies come up around it, a lot of controversy on both sides of the aisle. We talked about some of the things about how Chucky Schumer said, you know, his criticism of Trump in 2020 was that Maduro wasn't arrested. And now that it's 2026, he's criticizing Trump for arresting Maduro. We know that it's just hypocrisy. There's all that. Trump made this. People think, well, what constitutional right did he have to do that? Is he following the Constitution? He didn't let Congress know. Is this an act of war? I mean, there are all these different questions, constitutional questions. I appreciate Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes is a great constitutional attorney. He said he's thinking, based on his knowledge of the Constitution, he's really smart at it. That's why he is a constitutional attorney. Is that he that President Trump bypassed Congress and did something outside of his constitutional authority in arresting Maduro, and so therefore it was unconstitutional. Yet on another perspective is that he was executing his article, is it Article 3 or Article 2 responsibilities of being the chief law enforcer of this nation, because Maduro was indicted in 2020 and he was executing that a warrant on his arrest. So we have that, but it has also done a lot in terms of what the world and how the world is viewing, and how specifically in our hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, how the world is viewing, our neighbors are viewing what President Trump is doing. And by the way, it's actually causing them to shake in their shoes. They are very disturbed because they know what they have done to the United States, specifically, shall we say, Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico. They are actually very fearful because of the word, the testimony that's come out, because one of the witnesses came out about a security guard. We'll just pull this up. A security guard protecting Maduro gives chilling account of U.S. weaponry in Venezuela raid, and where he says this, he is a guard loyal to Maduro, absolutely chilling, and this is why the tone across Latin America has suddenly changed. Security guard, on the day of operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones flying over our positions. We didn't know how to react. In fact, when we've been looking at the different conflicts in the Middle East and over in Ukraine and stuff like that, we don't hear anything about U.S. drones, do we? We haven't heard anything. And yet now because it's been kept confidential, it's been classified, it's been secret. And now part of what the United States has in their arsenal and of their multiple tools that they have in their arsenal was used in order to get Maduro. And so lots of drones flying over the positions. We didn't know how to react. And so the interviewer, so what happened next? How was the main attack? After these drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From these helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought against before. The interviewer, and then the battle began? Yes, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed. It seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. And your own weapons, didn't they help? No, not at all. Because it wasn't just the weapons at one point. They launched something, I don't know how to describe it, but it was very intense. It was a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. And your comrades, did they manage to resist? No, not at all. These 20 men, without a single casualty, killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete against or with their technology, with their weapons. I swear, I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. So the interviewer says, so do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans? The security guard, without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. Interviewer, and now that Trump has said Mexico is on the list, do you think the situation will change in Latin America? Definitely. Everyone is already talking about this. No one wants to go through what we went through. Now everyone thinks twice. What happens here is going to change a lot of things, not just Venezuela, but throughout the region. So this is the technology that the U.S. has. They use in this raid against Maduro. And of course, one of the things that we were looking at, we were laughing about it earlier with Marco Rubio. Now you're in charge of this, now you're in charge of that. President Trump, I guess, respects Marco Rubio. He said Marco Rubio is going to be handling this. He's going to be handling Venezuela. He's going to be what did we see on that list? But we saw some interesting things. Mexico. I don't know if Mexico was on that list, but Mexico was listed somewhere else because Trump made an allusion to that. last week, he says he mentioned specifically Colombia, Cuba, and Mexico, I believe. And of course, of all things, Greenland is on the list as well, but Greenland is not under this type of fear that Latin America is feeling right now. But President Trump did double down about Cuba because Cuba's relationship with Venezuela, and specifically how the intel related around Venezuela is that Cuba was actually part of controlling the agenda for Latin America and using Venezuela to do that, and taking advantage of the voting machines and the software that's been developed by the Venezuelans that is in all of our voting machines, let alone how, because of these machines, the influence on who wins elections in 72 countries has been exposed because of the software algorithm changes and the connections to the cell connections, and how outside governments can control, if even all the way down to the precinct level, how things are being tallied in the elections. This is why it's very important that we go to paper ballots. Going back to this, Mexico is massing troops along the U.S. border. Why is that happening? Well, is it because Scheinbaum, the president of Mexico, is shaking in her boots, placing armor into Mexico City in preparation for U.S. attacks on cartels? And this is very telling, because this is really what it's about. Scheinbaum's not afraid. I think her main fear is because her connection to the cartels put her in position. She's a corrupt politician because of that relationship with the cartels, knowing that the cartels are just injecting their drugs into our culture, into the United States. I mean, that's why the cartels really exist, to destroy the United States from within, to make a lot of money. That's really the bottom line here, off the backs of the health of our fighting generation, many others as well. But how else, and why wouldn't the Chinese want to flood the United States market with fentanyl through Mexico, but to destroy the fighting generation? Because those are the ones most likely to be trying, experimenting, and doing drugs and dying from fentanyl. So Mexico massing troops along the U.S. border, placing armor into Mexico City in preparation for U.S. attacks on the cartels. I did see an article earlier this week as well, talking specifically about where the cartels are in Mexico and how those would be the targets. In fact, if you've been following me, and I don't know, maybe we haven't been discussing it, but a year ago, when President Trump was elected, the United States was doing surveillance missions. It was here on the HalTurnerRadioShow.com, where the United States was doing surveillance missions over parts of Mexico, where they were mapping out areas where the cartels were located and where their drug labs are, where their main centers of focus are. And they were doing that a year ago. Now, isn't it interesting now that Mexico would be massing troops? Now it says along the U.S.-Mexico border, placing armored vehicles into Mexico City, and orders to defend Mexico from attack by the USA. They plan on defending the drug cartels, is the word is being reported here. And then it shows videos showing the armed troops marching from aircraft into Mexico to deploy to the U.S. border. And Biden, and then the final point is Biden let in about 22 million people. So they already have an army in America. That's pretty chilling words. So how are we doing on time? This is part of the big picture that's going on. And there's more. There's other articles. Let me see if I can find, let's see, some other things that I can share that's not intel, covert intel, because I don't want to get on the wrong side of sharing covert intel, because only for subscribers. And so let's see if I can get this to switch. Eddie and Tammy, come on and let's talk a little bit about what we've been discussing right now. What do you?
Yeah, Eddie's getting a little tired, so he's going to go sit in his recliner. But
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
yeah, this is interesting. The turn of events that's happened, and like you pointed out in the shower thoughts, how the Democrats they're never satisfied. You know, they can't stop harassing Trump. That, you know, before he went in and took out Maduro, they were criticizing him for not doing it, and now they're criticizing him for doing it. But that information that you shared about the let's do it this way. How's that? Nope, that's not the same. There, that's what we got. Okay. Boy, I tell you, this software has really screwed us up.
Yeah.
But that I hadn't heard that report that you shared about the actions of the U.S. Special Forces that went in there. I just wonder if, you know, some of those might have been androids.
That's interesting thought. Were they robots? Were they robots?
Yeah. Because, you know, Elon Musk has been working on that very thing.
You know, because I was thinking about this, how Jonathan and I, my son, we were talking about this yesterday, and we're talking specifically how they were firing. You know, how do you fire 300 rounds a minute? Now, tell me, you're in the military. Eddie was in the military, and I'll just use that as a broad picture: Air Force, Navy. But how does one carry that many rounds? Right?
You don't.
You don't.
I mean, it's heavy. I mean, that's a lot of rounds. How does one carry 300 rounds, let alone be able to fire 300 rounds per minute? You don't carry that on. A human body does not have the ability to move fast and carry. That's a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying. I wonder if these are androids that are doing that, because it just sounds so superhuman what was done.
Yeah. Because we've seen the videos, haven't we? Seen how they've been demonstrating these droids. They are either in like a dog form, or even in an android form, but,
right?
But they could carry a mass amount of
gear,
right? Without slowing them down a bit.
Absolutely, and I doubt that they were the 226 rounds that are typically used by the M16s and stuff like that. I don't know. It had to have been a new type of weapon for it to be able to fire that many rounds.
Yeah.
So they had to be smaller rounds of some sort.
So when Trump's sitting on kick your butt, you better know it.
Well, and when you have these special forces, I don't know if these helicopters actually landed or they came down on ropes. I would assume that a lot of them came down on ropes. How do you come down a rope carrying that much gear?
Exactly.
Right? Sheer weight of it. But you could have but you could actually bring in androids, and in the dark, in the confusion of different things, that there's no way that the Venezuelans, or more specifically the Cuban security guards, that's who was defending Maduro, or Cubans. That's how you control a dictator, is you put in your own security force around them. But just saying. So that is also very interesting thought, Tammy. I would like to, I'd like to hear, if there's more going to be coming out from that. I got a graphic here that tells you a little bit about where the targets are in Mexico for the drug cartels. Check this out. So this is a picture of Mexico and the different states within Mexico, whatever you call them. What do you call them? District, provinces,
counties. I don't know.
Yeah, but in each one of these, it has an X, where basically is where major drug cartels are working out of, and here's the list of the different states and where they're located. Mexico City, yeah, could definitely be a target, but there's this problem in Mexico that, if you remember recently about what happened, was it was a few weeks ago, maybe about a month, is that their palace, they put up steel walls around the palace because the people were going there to demonstrate against President Scheinbaum. Do you remember any of that? And uh, and there were it was a major demonstration. The streets filled up. There are hundreds of thousands of people that surrounded the palace, and they set up the walls. They knew the demonstration was coming, so they put up the protective barriers. Don't even know if they're still there or not, but that there is unrest in Mexico. And I think the people in Mexico are probably like, we're tired of the cartels being involved in our government and being involved in our lives, that it's not safe for us to travel. It's not safe for us, even in our own cities. And because the cartels rule everything and they just kill people, and specifically anybody that the cartels don't like as mayors or people even running candidates for position, they kill, they assassinate. This last year, they assassinated how many? 30 or so different people running for mayor.
Wow.
They take them out. And, anybody that's running for mayor, it's either they're, well, you have to say they're extreme courage because they know that their life is on the line. And that's even a position of mayor. So, yeah, Mexico is quite a place.
I think a mayor is more like a governor in the United States. I think it's over more than just a city. It's probably over the whole province or state, if you will.
Okay.
So, but even still, that's, I don't like politics. I wouldn't want to be in a politician for nothing.
Well, and there's so much to keep up with, but this takes us over to another thing that's been going on. And this is a little bit older report. There's newer reports than this, but I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up and pull it into our picture. And that's what's going on in Iran. And
oh boy.
And where there are thousands and thousands and thousands of protesters out in Iran and protesting the government. And it looks like a color revolution. From what I understand, I think there's been help from the outside. Some say that it's the, Mossad is in there, encouraging the people, training the people how to go out there and form major crowds in the streets. Some say it's CIA is involved, probably both, maybe some other forces. But the people the people in Iran are pretty upset or tired of the Islamic regime. There have been unverified reports that, in fact, that some say that the Ayatollah Khomeini is dead. Some say he's fled the country. No one really knows what's going on because that's the fog of war.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus also they've shut down the internet, so it's harder to get information in or out.
Yeah. What's one of the reports that I did read was that there have been upwards to here's one. Iran protests, 2,000 dead in 48 hours. So these people are really out there. I mean, they know that when they go out there, that they're putting their lives on the line because of the military control, that martial type law that they have in Iran. Others say that there's a lot of freedom there. It's a lot of freedom as long as you are doing what you're supposed to do. But people are they're just tired. They want the old Iran back, and
unfortunately, most of the younger population there doesn't even know what it was like to be under the Shah of Iran, because it's just like the youth in this country. They don't have a clue what true freedom is, because they've been under this dictatorship and harsh Sharia law all this time, and it just doesn't make any sense in my mind why anybody in the United States would want to elect somebody of that mindset.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like Mom Donnie, they have no idea what they're getting into. What do they call that? The Red Green Alliance. The Red Green Alliance, which is the communists and the Muslims working together in order to destroy the United States and other freedom-loving countries, because Islam wants to come in with Sharia law and to run and rule and reign over people, which means, ladies, you'd be wearing hijabs, and we would not be having this conversation at all.
Exactly.
Many of us would be dead. And and then the red, of course, using the sword of Islam in order to bring about their authoritarian control, so that we can feel the warmth of collectivism. Yeah, as Mom Donnie would say.
Yeah, well, Bo Yeshua Bo. That's all I can say. Come,
yeah.
We're suffering from the results of 30 years of no prayer in schools.
Oh, it's more than 30. It's 50 years of no prayer in schools.
This is the end result of it right here.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to say 60. It's 60 years no prayer in school. It was 1963.
Oh, yeah, it was 63, not 73.
That's why the New York youth have no basis upon which to vote for anybody or anything for any reason. They don't have any conscience.
Well, it's just like the students here in Gainesville. They bring these students in from all over the country, and they let them vote in the city elections. How stupid is that? Because they're not going to be around to suffer the consequences of their voting.
Well, I'm going to let that be the last word, because we're out of time. And that's exactly right. Good points. Great show today. Thank you, Eddie and Tammy, for being part and co-hosting with me today. And for everybody, join us next week. Y'all willing, we'll be back here for Monday edition of Let Us Reason Together. Shalom.
Shalom. If you missed today's show or want to watch it again, or want to tell someone where they can watch this episode, go to lambnetwork.tv, where you will find this show and all the other live Lamb show archives in the on-demand section of the website. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to tell someone about the Messianic Lamb Network.
Should be white as snow, white as snow, white wool.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, and yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussions, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the lambnetwork.tv website. I'm Tammy Knowles Johnson, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.
White as snow, white as snow.